Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Welcome to day 3 of Mind to Matter. I am so excited to get going here. I got lots to talk about again. Just going to let everyone kind of roll in here and find their way on. Again, if you're joining me live, just say hi and let me know where you're coming in from. If you're not here live, but you're getting a chance to watch it on replay, we all get busy. Just hashtag replay and I'll comment, say hi. Morning, Ryan. Good to see you. Persistence. One of the strongest characters of a successful individual. And really, if you're here at this, still here on day 3, you're showing that commitment and that persistence. So congratulations for being here. So good to see you, my friend. Big day, big awesome day today. This could be the one that changes your life. And so hang around till the end here. I got lots and lots to talk about. We're going to be full of the energy. We're going to bring the energy up and keep it where we can. Had a phenomenal meditation. I do a meditation now that really gets me centered and connected to, God and Source, to allow me to deliver what I'm supposed to deliver, what comes through me. And this is something that this work has allowed me to experience, and something that you can experience when you are in what a lot of people call flow, or, you're connected to your higher self, your higher frequency. That's what we're talking about here. So when you function from that place, that's frequencies. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. And I'm going to do a quick summary before we get going here about what's happened over the last couple days. And then we'll jump right into what we're going to talk about today. Really 3 really big topics. And then I'm going to share with you, if we get some time, I'm going to share some of the success that some of my clients have had working with me further beyond this, because at the end of this, you're going to be in a place to make a decision. You're going to need to make a decision here. And that's whether or not you're going to continue in this work, and you're going to continue investing in yourself and investing in truly what brought you here, which is to get the change, the transformation you're looking for, to live that beautiful life. And so we'll talk about a little bit about what that looks like at the very end. And then we'll close off with a little summary. Stay tuned though. The next couple days I am going to come back on live here to share some little bonus stuff with you, because those of you that's sticking around, those of you that are still here, there's more to learn. There's always more to grow. And I learn as I teach. And one of my favorite sayings is, we're all students, we're all teachers. The teacher teaches the student how to find their way, but the student teaches the teacher how not to lose their way. And so I am grateful. And that's why one of the big reasons I'm grateful every time I come here and I share this time with you is that you all continue to teach me how to not lose my way. And so on that note, let's get moving. So for those of you that don't know me, haven't met me, my name is Dr. Garret Kusch. And over the last few days, I've been taking you on a little journey, a little journey from, where you started, how you got here, from a place of lack, a place of wanting. Something in your life might be missing, something you may want, you may desire, something you may feel, a feeling you may have. A lot of us come here from lack, wanting something, wanting a change. And ultimately, you've been attracted here. So you've come here because you've been looking for something. The universe has delivered this to you, delivered this teaching, brought me into your life. I was invited in. I love that. I never come into someone's life. I'm invited into their life. And so you're here for a reason, and it might be from a place of lack. You might want something different in your life. You may feel stuck. You may have tried to change things only to see them fizzle out. You may have tried to change things that didn't last. You may know a lot of this information, but just don't understand why the results don't match what you know. And I've been there on all of those things. Some of you might just be hands down lost in life, just no idea what to do, nowhere to turn, almost like that dark night of the soul. And then this has been delivered to you. And so really, I've been in all of those places, and I have to tell you that this information, what I'm teaching you and bringing you along this journey of, really is the information that made changes in my life, that allow me to live a life of my dreams. And so I invite you, I empower you to stay in this work and continue investing in who you are. Okay. So on day one, we talked about that, big thing, the manifestation, creation. Creation is all finished, and manifesting is just bringing part of that creation into your awareness so you get to experience it. And so you learn that we create on 3 planes of creation simultaneously. We're spiritual beings having temporary human existences and experiences. So we're spiritual. We have an intellectual mind. We have an intellect. And then we have the physical plane on which we demonstrate and which we see the results of the spiritual and intellectual and physical work. Then you learned about your belief systems and how you can't outperform your belief systems. So you were asked questions like, what beliefs are limiting you? And some of you should have become aware of some of your limiting beliefs and started to change those, because you learned that a belief is nothing more than something you've heard on repeat over and over again until it's become a hardened fact. And it's buried in your subconscious, and it runs the results in your life. And so those limiting beliefs are holding you back from what it is you truly want. And so you're willing now to change those beliefs because they've come from people in your past as a young child with the inability to reject ideas and repetitive stories that you were told by people in authority, by people you loved, your family, your parents, your friends, your colleagues, your coaches, your teachers. And so you have to ask yourself, if it's come from them, are those beliefs true? And most of those beliefs are untrue. And so you now start replacing those beliefs with new unlimited beliefs that you are a spiritual being, that you can achieve anything you want. No matter what your income is, if you're making $10,000 a day, or you can make $10,000 a day from $10,000 a year. You can turn your yearly income into your monthly income. You can have the body you've always wanted and the health you've always wanted, to be unlimited, to do and experience the things in life you really, truly love, and not be concerned about how your health might stop you as you get older. You could be the happiest person you want to be. Unlimited blissful happiness, living in the present moment. Sharing love with people that you've always wanted in your life. You've met the man, the woman of the partner of your dreams. You've got a beautiful family. Your job's perfect, most amazing. You've come out of that monotony and you've started your own business to create, that life of your dreams. So you can have any of that, and you learned that because you understand creation, what beliefs are. And then you ultimately went home and you wrote out your wants. They came from your fantasy because you knew what a C-type goal, a worthy goal, looks like. Because it's going to make you grow. Yes, you're going to attain things, but it's going to make you grow because that's its purpose. And then day 2, we got into frequencies, the mind, and how that works. And then this paradigm. We learned about the mind, the conscious, and the subconscious. That 95% of your life, all the results in your life come from your subconscious. Only about 5% of your thinking comes from your consciousness, your ability to think. You utilize those intellectual faculties, the conscious thinking, to impress on the subconscious that which you want to begin to believe and begin to reprogram the subconscious. And you do that through repetition. So you learned those 2 parts of your mind and how your mind puts your body in action. And that action creates a reaction from the environment that gives you your results. And so you learned that most of us live our life through our senses, tuning us into our environment, keeping us focused on the results we have and letting that determine our thinking rather than letting our thinking create our results. We're letting our results dictate our thinking. And when our results dictate our thinking, that is the quantum, or that is the Newtonian or Cartesian model of reality, where it's cause and effect. the results causing the effect of your thinking in your mind that then cause the reaction to get the action. And then you learned about the quantum model of reality, which is what all this is about you causing an effect. You be the reason for the circumstances, the results in your life through your thinking, because you take the energy that flows into you. Use your imagination, those higher faculties we were talking about, but you use that imagination to create the life of your dreams, the future life. And you start to focus on that. And that takes your focus off what you don't want and starts to put it on what you do want. Takes you out of stress and puts you in creation. And that way you start to believe in what's possible for you. And that's you causing an effect, changing your inner world, which then causes the change in the outer world. So that brings us here to today, where we're going to talk about fear and faith. Because when you set that worthy goal, that C-type goal, which comes from your fantasies, the moment you set that goal, you're going to get hit with fear. So we're going to jump right into this right now, and we're going to talk about fear and faith. And the first thing I want you to know is this, okay? That both fear and faith ask us to believe in something we cannot see. So when you really listen to that, both faith and fear ask us to believe in something we can't see. So the fear that we feel is because we're believing in the worst case scenario, which hasn't even happened yet. And we get that emotion of fear. Faith is having the belief in the best possible outcome. It's understanding how the mind works, understanding the difference between fear and faith and what truly fear is, and having the faith that that good can come to you. So neither the worst possible outcome or the best possible outcome are yet reality. So you've got to choose which to believe in. So both of them ask us to believe in something we cannot see. The other thing is that both faith and fear, it takes the same amount of energy to believe in the fear of something as it does to have the faith in something. And so it truly comes down to this choice where you get to choose whether or not you're going to believe in and have faith in the best possible scenario, or you're going to fear the worst possible outcome. And I'm sure you can guess, but I'll ask you to put it in the chat anyways. One of those keeps us stuck where we are, and the other one allows us to achieve the dreams that we've always wanted in our life. Can you guess which one does what? I'm going to walk through a little bit with you, a little bit more detail about why the fear keeps us stuck, what its purpose is, and why it actually exists inside of us. And then I want to help you redefine what fear is. Because if you change what that meaning is to you, right? Because we assign meaning to things. Things are inherently meaningless. Life is inherently meaningless until we give it meaning through our thinking. It's a really, really good belief to live by, which is life, everything is inherently meaningless. We give it meaning through our thinking. So something can be presented to two different individuals, and through their thinking, they can both give them different meanings. Exactly. Fear keeps us stuck, Ryan. Bang on, man. And so when you think about a situation that two people might be exposed to, and a perfect example would be to use this example of fear. When fear comes into your experience, do you see the fear as a bad thing as something to run away from? Do you look at the fear as a way to keep you safe? Or do you see the fear as an opportunity to grow, as an opportunity to thrive? Are you looking at it actually looking for fear, looking for that experience of fear? The other thing about fear that's really interesting is what truly is fear? What is the feeling inside of you? Could that fear be something more like discomfort? Can the fear be a discomfort that you could change the meaning of? And this is ultimately how, once you start to understand fear and faith, you're able to confront it in a different way. You're able to experience it in a different way. I'm going to share with you how the mind works to create a outcome in your life, a result in your life through using the stick person. So I'm going to draw that out for you in a little bit here, but I want to stay on this discussion of fear and faith a little bit more. A lot of you might say, and I was in the same place, where I just don't have a lot of faith and feel as though, that we have to cultivate this sense of faith. But I want to assure you that one of the ways in which to see the belief and build the belief through repetition is to look in your life where currently you have a lot of faith. So yes, you may not have the faith that you can earn $1 million in a month, that you can lose 100 pounds in 2 months or 5 months or whatever you want it to be. And that might be difficult for you to have faith in. And so what you can do is you can look through your life right now and you can find places that you do have faith. You can look at experiences in your life where you showed a high level of faith. And so one of my favorite, and it actually Bob uses it, is this concept of gravity. So when you step outside your house, you never fear floating away. You never fear that you're going to float off into oblivion because you have perfect faith, or better yet, a knowing that you won't float away. You have so much faith in gravity that it doesn't even enter your consciousness that you could float away. That's a knowing. And that's what deep, true faith is. It's a knowing. You know that when you park your car in a certain spot that you're going to come out after shopping and it's still going to be there. Another opportunity to become aware of your faith. Remember, if you're unaware of something, it doesn't exist in your reality. So if you don't become aware of these things that are inside your life, right in front of you, these examples, you're going to miss how much faith you actually have. You have faith in when you brush your teeth, you're going to keep visits away from the dentist. You're going to have faith that you're going to be able to earn some income this month. You have faith that you're going to eat, that you're going to be able to sleep in your house. You have faith everywhere in your life. And so you have to cultivate higher levels of faith by seeing more and recognizing little things, like when you want to go on a vacation and you set your mind on going on that trip, and then you use your credit card to pay it off. You know that trip is coming, you're going to have and enjoy it, and you're going to be able to make that payments to pay that back. You have faith everywhere. We all have deep levels of faith. We just have to become aware of it. And like I said in the beginning, you can choose fear or you can choose faith that everything's going to work out. Is that making sense? I know a lot of people struggle with understanding that they don't have the faith to make changes in their life. They don't have faith in themselves. And you really do have faith. I have to tell you that, when I got into a lot of this work and I was looking to make changes in my professions and certain things, I really struggled with the faith that I would do well, that I'd be able to do it. And ultimately, before I confronted fear, before I understood fear and faith, I let the fear control my actions. And so I stayed stuck for a very long time. And it wasn't until I understood what this was. So when we look at fear, what is fear? Okay, fear is an emotion that the subconscious creates as a result of worry and doubt in our conscious mind. So I'm going to run through a little bit of a explanation of this, like I said, in a moment. But fear is this emotion a lot of look at as being negative. Now, where did it come from? Well, primitively, our ancestors, when there was fear was usually a reasonable threat to the survival of that individual. Like they were actually going to be eaten by predators or something along those lines, or injured to the point of where they would die. And so this fearing the unknown environment, kept our ancestors very safe. It kept them alive. Now, even in their life, if they feared the environment too much, they wouldn't move, even though on the other side of the hill was what? The beach with no predators and nice relaxing time, lots of food. Even though that was there, the fear kept them where they were. So although it was still primitive to keep them alive, if they'd pushed through a lot of things, which our ancestors did over millennia to evolve into where we are now, if we believe in that evolutionary change. The point being is that the fear in our ancestors did keep us safe, because the threat evoked the fear, caused a stress response, caused us to run, hide, or fight, and ultimately hiding or staying put is what kept them safe. So that neurologic hardware, that genetic, or that is ingrained in our DNA and our genetics to keep us alive. So nowadays, the reality is nothing's really going to kill us. I get it. There's traumas and stuff that obviously could, but nothing's really going to kill us that causes us to stress out. Our credit card bills, our level of finances, the income we have, the relationship we're in, the job that just sucks, the life that just looks at it like it's not going anywhere. All these things can evoke a sense of fear, a fear that you're never going to be able to experience the life of your dreams. I mean, how many people have that fear? That was a big one for me. I feared I was going to be on my deathbed going, what did I do? Why did I not try? Why did I not go out and, invest in myself? And so that fear keeps you stuck. And it keeps you stuck for the same reasons. The stress response, the fear we experience, can come from a real and true threat, or what we perceive to be a threat. Because the way we're wired, the way our brain is that we can perceive something as a threat, and the response is stress to a fear. So like our ancestors, a lot of us, when we feel that fear, right, we back off and we move away. We don't take the step. We see it as a threat to our survival, and we don't attempt change. So we get scared into staying where we are. And that's because we're listening to that primitive response. That's really where the fear response came from, was to keep us safe. So reason this with me. If nothing's going to kill us in our environment, we don't have true threats to our survival. When you were younger and you were standing at the edge of that diving board, or you hadn't even climbed to the top of it yet because you were so scared and you just backed off. And then the next time you were confronted, you went up the ladder, but then you came back down. And then you got up to the diving board to the end of it, and you just couldn't do it. You backed up, came back down. Okay, that's the fear. Fear is keeping that person safe, keeping you safe when you were younger. Now, what happens the moment you make a decision to step off that diving board, to confront the fear? The moment you do it once, you're ready to do it again. You're excited. You break free from the bondage of that situation, of that fear that's keeping you stuck, not jumping off the high diving board. That's a perfect example of what happens to fear. So fast forward now to as an adult. And you come up to a place where you're like, I am going to invest in me. I am going to take a personal development course that is going to teach me how to apply this information to make change, and I'm going to invest in me. And then we get hit with fear. Same reason. Because it's an unknown result. What happens if you jump off the diving board and die? Go back. Same thing. What happens if you invest in yourself and you fail like you've done in the past? What happens if you invest all this money in this program and it just fizzles out and dies? So the fear is there to keep you safe. So as an adult, even when you're considering something that scares you, okay, the same fear can come up to keep you stuck. So when you're confronted with fear, whether child, adult, that fear response is the same as the ancestor. It's there to keep you safe. That's what it's doing. It's there to keep you safe. But just as the child, when they jumped in, they felt the sense of freedom. What happened? They grew to another level. They grew into their higher self. They became aware of a higher state of consciousness. So what's going to happen as an adult if you jump in and you take the leap of faith? The faith that everything's going to work out. The faith that investing in a program in yourself is going to allow you to gain understanding, that's going to give you the faith that you can achieve anything you want in your life. That's the difference between listening to the fear and having the faith. It makes perfect sense. So what I would invite you to do is look at fear from a different perspective. And this is using your thinking, your conscious mind. Remember the part we talked about yesterday, your higher faculties. You're going to reason this. What if fear, on the other side of the fear that you feel, is freedom, a feeling, a sense of accomplishment, a feeling of fulfillment, of joy, of happiness, of success? What if fear just symbolized the opportunity to achieve all those things? What if you changed the meaning of fear to be one that you want to experience? And the fear is just the discomfort of doing something new, of the discomfort of the unknown, but you choosing the faith that the unknown is going to bring you a better life, a better experience, a growth into who you are. And that's truly what needs to happen, is you have to redefine, give a different meaning to fear. So now for me, what is fear to me? Fear to me is an opportunity to grow. Fear to me is knowing that on the other side of that fear is my growth. And I have to tell you, when I started this work, going online like this, talking to people that I didn't even see or hear or know, I evoked fear. That evokes fear. But I know I'm going to grow from it. And so I've had people tell me how much better I've gotten at delivering this information because of my desire. My want, my goal allows me to push through that. We're going to talk about how that comes into play. So the fear in my life means I am getting into the unknown, and the unknown is where you can create from, where change really happens. You can't change when you're living in the past or you're predicting the future. That's not the unknown. You got to do it from a place where you have no idea what's going to happen. You just have faith that it's all going to work out. So change the meaning of fear. Allow it to represent an opportunity to grow, to become more unlimited, to become stronger and more self-confident, to recognize that you have the ability to confront any fear that comes in front of you. And guess what? The bigger the fear, the bigger the payout. So have faith in what the outcome can be. Have faith in the good outcome rather than fear of the worst outcome. Have faith that everything's going to work out. What if I do this and I fall on my face? Why not? What if I do this and I grow into the beyond what I wanted? And truly, this is so incredible. I always tell people that when they're thinking about what they're going to do and they're thinking about what experience they're going to have when they take action in something, you can't even imagine what an experience will give you because you're thinking about it from a lower level of consciousness where you are right now. That's why when people have experiences, like they go through this work and they change something and they achieve something, they're like, oh my God, it's better than I imagined. And I'm like, that's the way it works. You can't imagine how good it is. It's always better than what you think because you're thinking from a lower state of consciousness. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I just want to quickly draw out to you something that gives you a little bit of a perspective on why this, how fear can keep you stuck and why it creates the worst case, and then how you can shift to the other side to start having faith in creating the best case scenario. So again, I am going to bring up my iPad so we can do a little bit of drawing here. So give me one sec to start this, and I'll put my little face in there again. Okay, so here's what I want to do. So we're going to draw out this guy, and you guys all know who this is now. So I'm just drawing out the mind from yesterday. We call this the stick person, by the way. And so you learned about this. This up here is the conscious mind, and this is the subconscious mind, and this is the body. So I just want to touch on this because one of the things that was really profound for me when I was a chiropractor, working with people, I understood how much this information influences someone's health. And so this is going to be just a quick description because we're burning through time here, and I want to get through this real quickly. So here's how it works. When you start to entertain an idea of a new life, a goal, a big goal, and you have no idea how you're going to accomplish it. Because remember, that's what a worthy goal is. You have no idea how to accomplish it because you got to grow into the person to accomplish it. But let's say you don't understand that. So you start entertaining this idea. As soon as you bring this idea and you can't see how you're going to achieve it, on your conscious mind, you experience worry and doubt. And that's because you have a problem that you're trying to solve. Now, as soon as you worry and doubt over and over and over again about this problem, that impresses on the subconscious, and the subconscious evokes an emotion. Guess which one that is? Fear. So subconsciously, you feel fear. Now, as I said, whatever's impressed on the subconscious puts the body into a state of vibration. It puts the body into action. Now, the manifestation of fear in the body is anxiety. So when you're in fear, you become anxious. The anxiety you suppress. All anxious individuals eventually become depressed. And that's because, and then the body goes into, and always hyphenate this, dis-ease, because it's no longer in ease, it's now in dis-ease, and it starts to disintegrate. Now, quickly, the source and foundation of all problems that you have is one of ignorance. It's not knowing. You don't know the solution. It's just ignorance. And that's not your fault. You just don't have the information. Now, by the law of polarity, if there's a negative side to this, there has to be a positive. Okay, and you guessed it. Every problem has a solution. So once, okay, you gain, and this is what happens on the conscious mind, is once you gain understanding, through what? The gain of knowledge. So the opposite of the ignorance, not knowing, is knowledge. You gain knowledge and understanding. Now, how do you gain knowledge, by the way? Study. What do you study? You study you. That's what this work is about. It's studying you. It's learning this. It's gaining the knowledge. So now you're gaining the knowledge that every problem has a solution and that you're not going to know the steps of how to achieve your goal, but they're going to come to you whenever you need them. That's how the universe works. So the more you get excited about your goal, the more the answers come. So what does that do? It gives you understanding. When you have understanding of this, now you develop the emotion of faith. You have faith that everything's going to work out because you understand that the plan will be delivered when you get emotionally involved in the goal that you're thinking about on repetition. It'll be delivered in time when it needs to. You have faith. You will get everything you need to achieve it. What happens? How does that get expressed in the body? Well-being. And that's something you get excited about. So you express that. And that's because the body is at ease. And so you accelerate in life instead of disintegrate. And what that means is this is growth. And when it comes to health, it's repair and regeneration. This is why this is so important and applies to anything: happiness, health, or wealth. All parts of your life, any part of your life, any goal you're going for, this is how it works. Right? There's a law in the universe. If you're not creating, you're disintegrating. If you're not growing, you're dying. Okay? How health comes into this. This is the stress response. Okay? So over years, when you're in the stress, you can't create. This is survival. This over here, is creation. That's why fear over faith, faith over fear is so important. That's why you need to understand what that's all about. That's how it works. So you gain faith when you have understanding and knowledge about how you work and about what fear is, why it's there, and you have understanding on how the creative process works, and that's what gives you the ability to create in your life. How's that? That makes sense? That's a big one. It's the biggest one, because that's what brings us to the next thing I want to talk about. And oh my gosh, we're flying. We are flying. When I get in flow, when you get in that place, and this is where you know when you're in your space, when you're in flow, when you're doing what you love to do, when life's the way it is that time dilates, it disappears. You're in the present moment where no time exists. This is where creation happens. So we are there. We are there. I love it. Okay, so now comes a point that you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to learn this skill, because all successful individuals do this skill well. All of them. They share this ability, and the ability is to make a decision. Not any decision, a committed decision. Successful individuals make decisions quickly and almost never change them. Whereas average individual, unsuccessful people take forever to make a decision and often change them, go back and forth. And so to become successful, to think about yourself from a higher place, from the place of your goal, one of the actions you got to get really good at, you've got to see yourself making decisions quickly. Now, it's really easy to develop this skill if you weren't born with it. A lot of people aren't born with it. Some are, but a lot aren't. I was not a good decision maker. I let outside world define it for me. I, worried about what other people thought. I worried about, what people thought about me teaching these. I thought about how I sounded. I thought about whether I knew enough information. I worried about what other people in the environment and the world was thinking. And that kept me stuck. That's the fear, right? See how it all ties in. So I couldn't make the decision. I've gotten way better at that. I'm a quick decider now. A very quick decision maker. And yeah, I won't change them because I started to realize once you make the decision, there's no failure. There's no wrong decision at all. There's not a wrong decision. The decision gives us data and feedback, allows us to make another decision, right? So what does it take to make a decision, right? How does a successful person, why can they make them so quickly? Number one, I don't know if you could guess this, but number one, what do you think the number one reason or number one prerequisite, if not the only prerequisite to make a decision? Do you know what that is? And all successful individuals, all very, very well-off individuals, healthy individuals, they have this. This only prerequisite for making a decision is a strong, unique individual want, one of your fantasies. Do you see how this fantasy, how this goal is so important? I didn't have goals when I was younger and when I was, before I got into this. I just didn't. I just let the world do whatever. The goal is essential. And when you can define it and you know it, you can direct it. So you need that goal to evoke so much excitement in you. That's why no one can tell you what you want and what you should go after. You've got to figure that out. And we talked about how to do that on day one. So your want is the only prerequisite you need in order to make a decision. Why is that? Because the want gives you direction and a target. So your ability to make a decision can be determined by, is it in line and does it move me closer to my goal? That's what you ask yourself. If I make this decision, right, what decision of these two choices moves me closer to my goal? That's why it is so powerful, is because if you know what your goal is, you know which way to go. It's like when you're driving a car and you know where your destination is, which way do you turn at the end of your driveway? Well, it's this way. Why? Because you know where you're going. It's identical in your mind. It's order. It's heaven's first law. That's what makes your decision extremely easy to make, is when you know what you want. The other characteristic that really successful individuals have is self-confidence. And the funny thing is the self-confidence comes from making the decisions and seeing that you have the ability to make them and they move you towards your goal. So you build the self-confidence from the thing that you need self-confidence to make. It's beautiful. It creates a cyclic thing that you just keep growing from. So they know what they want and they have developed that self-confidence. And you can do the same. Every single one of you can. The other thing is you make the decision from where you are right now, from all of the information, all of the stuff, all of the experiences you have now. See, the building blocks for ideas that we come up with are the knowledge we have and the experiences we've had. Those two, hi babe, thanks for joining us, love. My greatest fan, my major support. Love you, babe. Goodness, I lost my train of thought. She does that to me. So the decision, you make it right from where you are right now. All the information and everything you need, the knowledge and the experience you've had, that's what you make your decision from. Okay, just right there. You make that decision, boom, move on. Don't worry about what the outcome is, because it's going to give you data and feedback that allows you to adjust or move or do what you need to do. Okay, so make it from right where you are now. Now, there's a decision and then there's a committed decision. Now, we've all experienced this. You've made a decision, wallowed in it, kind of made it, didn't have the integrity to it, all these other things. We've all felt that. And then we've all felt what that committed decision is. And the committed decision really is built on one question that you ask yourself. And it's all you need to ask yourself is, am I willing to do whatever it takes? So when you make a committed decision, you just need to ask yourself, am I willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that goal? That's the only question you have, because the other question, are you able to do it? We already know you're unlimited spiritual being having a temporary human experience. So you have unlimited potential and capabilities. So your ability, for sure, you can do that. It's whether you're willing to do whatever it takes. And let me just share something with you. You need to ask yourself very similarly, are you willing to die for that goal? And I say die, and people go, die? I'm not willing to die for $1 million. Well, let me ask you a question. You're dying right now for the life that you have. As you live this life, you are going through it leading to death. So you are dying for what you're doing right now. So you're going to die for this one, or are you going to die for your dream life? Are you willing to do whatever it takes and die for that dream life? That's how the committed decision gets made. So you need to ask yourself, are you willing to do whatever it takes? Last thing about the decision that's really important. Now, a lot of people, when they're trying to decide something, they're going to go to who? They go to their friends. They go to their family. They go to their colleagues. What would you do in this situation? Would you do this? So I used to do that because I wanted to see what people, that I had close to me would give me an answer. That's what we normally do, correct? And I realized that what ends up happening is remember how we talked about frequencies, and you're at a frequency, and we'll call it lower than where your goal is, because your goal is going to make you grow into a higher frequency, a higher version of yourself. So at this version, you're resonating, vibrating at a frequency, and what you vibrate and resonate at attracts in your life. So the people in your life, you've attracted into them by how you're vibrating and feeling. So when you go to those people, they're at the same level as you, the same level as your current situation, but the decision you're making is to go to a higher level. So you're making a decision down here and you're asking people from a level down here, and those people are reinforcing the decision that would be made down here, which is from experience and evidence from down here. So they're going to tell you, no, I wouldn't do that. Dude, you don't need to work that hard. It's going to take too much work, too much time. You have to provide for your family. You spend so much time being a chiropractor. You spend so much money and resources being a chiropractor. You should stay there. And so when trying to make a decision to start a business like this, a coaching company, it was like, oh my gosh, everyone's telling me to stay here for their reason that they believe, which is at the level of where I am. And so who should you ask? Let's say you're going to invest in a program. You're going to invest in working with me further. You're going to ask your friends, and what are they going to do? They're going to share yours. It's lots of money. What if they fail? What I heard when I got involved with personal professional growth was those people are snake oil salesmen. They just take your money, blah, blah, blah. Then they leave you alone. And I'm like, yeah, and I believed them. And they were close to me. They were family members. They were really close friends. It was when I took the leap of faith and I talked to people at a higher level of consciousness from a place of where I wanted to go. And they were like, oh my gosh, of course you've got to do it. It didn't mean that it took the fear away and all those other things. The fear was still there, but it definitely gave me the understanding that, holy cow, if I want to be where they are, I would make that decision. So that must mean I should make that decision. That's who you need to go ask. So don't go ask your friends and your family what they would do unless they've achieved what you want to achieve. Ask someone who's got your goal. What would you do? Ask someone successful. What would they do? Would you invest in yourself? Would you invest in learning how to create your reality and earn more income, live the life of your dreams, have your love of your life, have the best health? Ask them what they would do. Don't go ask the people. And that's what a lot of people do in this. They'll, hear something like this and they'll be so pumped up. They'll be emotionally involved. They'll be higher energy, vibrating at a higher frequency. And they're like, man, I got to do this, got to do this. You're now at your level of your goal and you can answer your own question. It's like, yes, I've got to do this. But then what happens when you leave and you go back to your life is you drop back down and guess what you get hit with? Oh my gosh, I shouldn't do that. Oh my gosh, I don't have the money. Where? Oh my gosh, I shouldn't put it on my credit card. I shouldn't go get the line of credit. I can't ask other people for a loan. I can't invest in that money. That's for a rainy day. I can't sell that investment because that's going to make me X amount of money in the future. I mean, how many of these thoughts can go through your mind when you're at a lower state of consciousness? That's what blows everyone's dreams, is the circumstances, the obstacles that confront them. It destroys dreams. It's destroyed your dreams up to this point. You make a decision, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to open my own business. And then you go back down to where you started and you go, well, when I have more money, I'm going to go do this when the kids go to school. I'm going to go do this when I have better health. That's the paradigm keeping you stuck and safe. So you need to ask yourself, your higher self, what would you do? See, you can go ask people at a higher level, or you can do it from where you're resonating from right now. See, I go exercise because it elevates my vibration. I meditate. I meditated right before I came on today. So my energy stays high and I speak from a higher place. All of these words come through me. I believe they are coming from my higher self and from God, and sharing it with you guys because it's truth, it's science, it's principles, it's laws. And so I elevate my frequency through things like that, through exercise, through meditation. I also do it through reading books. I do it through writing. I do it through writing gratitude lists. I do it through constant repetition of thoughts over and over again in my mind. So get excited, get emotionally involved in you, in learning more about you, in learning how to take this information and change your life. Okay? I got people that I've worked with and you know what? If I can just bring up, maybe I'll bring up Christine here. This is Christine, and she was one of my clients, and she said, thank you, Garret. And Tara was working with me at the time, and she goes, you have given me tools to help me live my life on purpose every day. Now, the interesting thing about Christine and why I brought her up as someone to share with you what's possible is she had she wanted to start a new business. So she wanted to earn her own income. And she thought that she wanted to be let me see if I could just bring myself up here. She wanted to bring start a design company. And so she was working with us. Tara was a designer at the time, so Tara was helping her with design work and how to start up a design company. And we were using the program that I'll share with you briefly here at the end to get the right mindset to begin this business. Anyways, we got in a little bit, and Tara was just explaining, it just didn't seem like it was her inner heart and soul that she wanted to, that this was her purpose. And so we sat down, and Tara says to me, she goes, "Hey, ask Christine to see her feed for her design company on Instagram." So we went to her social media feed, and it was bumpy, but it was pretty good, but it wasn't, awesome. And then she goes, "Now ask her to show you her feed from what she truly loves to do." And what she truly loves to do is to create settings for special occasions like birthdays and let's say weddings and graduations and stuff like that. So she comes in and kind of sets up a table and, puts in flowers and food and, very special, beautiful arrangements. She showed me the feed. I was floored. I'm like, oh my God. Like in that moment, I was like, why isn't she doing this to earn and to run her own business? And her paradigm said she couldn't earn income doing something she loved to do. She couldn't earn income from that. She couldn't see how she could do it. Needless to say, she pivoted at that moment. And her testimony is because she has a flourishing business now that she is supporting her family by herself. It changed her life. She couldn't believe it. She's doing exactly what she loves, earning income she never dreamed she could, and giving experiences to people and serving humanity in a way that is unique to her. That's just one person. I mean, there are so many people that we've worked with that have just, taken this work to the next level. And I want to share that with you. You really need to make a decision here. The decision is whether to stop here and just let this, give you that dopamine hit, that instant gratification, the pill, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Go out and try and do it for yourself. Try and make it work for yourself. And people have done that. They end up in the work because they realize that they can't do it alone. And so on that note, the program that I use is one that Bob Proctor built. It's a signature program called Thinking into Results. And it is the nuts and bolts behind the quantum model of reality, creating your results through your thinking. So it's thinking into results, not results into thinking. It's a 6-month course, 12 modules. And just let me find my notes here. So it's a 12 module course where you'll work over 6 months in transforming yourself and achieving the goal that you set. So it starts out with literally setting your goal. So you need to know what a goal is. And we talked a little bit about it here. So we really dive deep in this and we really massage and hone in onto the one that is for you. Okay, that's the first lesson. Then the next couple lessons, as soon as you set your goal, the fear hits. Now, when the fear hits because your paradigm acts up. So part of setting the goal in lesson 1 is so that the paradigm will come up and identify areas where you need to work in order to rebuild a new paradigm. So lessons 2 and 3, we do that. We do a deep dive into paradigms and we start reprogramming your paradigm. So that's the purpose of that goal in lesson 1 as well. And then once you get that exposed and get you start working on rebuilding the paradigm, we do a deeper dive into the mind and how it works, because you got to understand how you were conditioned and where you are in this moment. That's what, see, lessons 2 and 3 tell you where your paradigm is, where you are at this moment. So it gives you your location, where you are, because you got to know where you are before you can figure out where you're going. You got to know your starting point. Okay. And then you start to learn all about the mind and how your thoughts flow into your feelings put your body in a vibration. The vibration is what you take action on, and the action produces a reaction that causes you to the current results in your life. Okay. So that lesson teaches us the flow of energy to and through us. And then once you understand how the mind works and you understand that you have a thinking, conscious mind, lesson 5 is doing a deep dive into those tools, those intellectual tools: reason, will, memory, intuition, and imagination. Okay? And so you start to learn how to use these tools in order to shift your life and shift your awareness. So as soon as you learn how to use those 6 creative faculties, you use those to rebuild your self-image. Now, lesson 6 of the Thinking the Results program is building your new identity. And your new identity has to be so powerful and so strong and so in line. You need to understand who you have to become to achieve your goal. So lesson 6 is all about designing that new identity. And we don't just hit the identity, but we touch on purpose. What's your purpose for your life? What's your why? And then we work on the vision. The vision is what you're going to do to deliver your purpose. And then we go after it by setting that goal. And that goal is how you start to chip away at your vision until it becomes your reality. And so lesson 6 is all about how to build your self-image. Lesson 7 is all about faith and fear. Again, a deeper dive in understanding how to utilize faith, how to build it stronger. The workbook that accompanies this lesson is massive, and it gets you so in depth in understanding who you are, dismantling and rebuilding who you are. Lesson 8 is called praxis, and praxis is matching our beliefs with our behaviors. So you start to understand how to make your behaviors match what you now believe, because we introduce beliefs in the very beginning because we want you to know that you can't outperform your belief system. You can start working on it. But by the time you get to lesson 8, and after you've gone through your new identity, you've developed new beliefs, and now you're going to embody those beliefs. How do you embody a belief instantaneously? By taking action. So praxis, lesson 8, is all about belief. Everything culminates in lesson 9. Lesson 9 is all about your attitude. Bob uses the word attitude. Joe uses the word personality. Your attitude is the composite. It's what makes up your personality, and your attitude is your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Now, you need to understand what you're thinking. You need to know what you're feeling, and you need to know the actions you're taking. Because you're going to need a bulletproof attitude in order to make these changes. Because as you start to make these changes, lots of stuff's going to happen in your life. People are going to peel away that have been close to you. Your environment's going to shift and change. People are going to tell you you're doing things you shouldn't be doing. You're looking silly. All these things you're going to need a bulletproof attitude to be able to get through. That's like the armor. And that attitude has to be there despite the circumstances in your life. So attitude is where lesson 9, everything comes together. Lessons 10, 11, and 12 are like supplemental. 10 is the most important person. That is you. You are the MVP in your life. You need to understand that, believe that, know that it's your God-given right to have exactly what you want. Finally, 11 is leaving everyone with the impression of increase. And I got to tell you, one of the best lessons, because what you put out, you get back. So if you're going to give out love and happiness and joy, you're going to get that back. But if you're giving out complaints and you're blaming and you're looking at the bad and the negative, you're going to get more of that back. So understanding how to leave everyone with an impression of increase is a way in which you can magnify what's going on. And brings us to the last lesson, which is to magnify your mind. And that's about the mastermind. That's about the community. So included in this is my Facebook group, a private one with all of my clients that you can then connect with others. Okay, that's going to be building over time. And the community is so important because as you've experienced when you've been here, is that there's an energy that is non-local, meaning we don't have to be in the same room. You can feel it through this. But that energy is there and is built because of the community. And as the community grows, that energy will grow more. So it's going to be a place for you to come, to be able to elevate your energy. And that's that Facebook group. And then finally, there are facilitations. Every week I do a facilitation with clients and we talk around a lesson. I'll facilitate a lesson, but I'll talk about it in a different way with my experiences about what I've done, my point on it. And so I really encourage you to take a moment, get still, elevate your vibration. Think about what it would mean to you. What would it mean in your life if you achieved the goal that you started off in day one? What would it do for you in your life? What would it do for the loved ones around you? What would it do for your family and your friends? What would they see and how could they benefit? Although it is for you, it is for humanity too. It is for those around you that you express your greater self. Something I didn't know, something I didn't understand. But when you become your greater self, when you show people what your capable and potential is, you invite them to do the same. My kids see me growing into this. My partner, Tara. My family. My friends, they see you growing and invites them to do the same thing and they benefit from it. So it's not just for you. In fact, truly the purpose is serving humanity. Your purpose is to serve humanity your way. So I encourage you to take out your phones, right? To direct message me, get on a call with me. Let's see how I can help you. Let's see if I can guide you further. Right? It is up to you to make the decision. It's your time. If not you, who? And if not now, when? You're here for a reason. It's time to now take that leap of faith, right? Jump off that diving board. And it'll take, as Bob says, a telescope to see where you started from when you've achieved your goal. Okay? Carolyn, thank you. Yes, Carolyn made the decision to do this a year ago, and she has never looked back. She's an incredible individual. Her spirit, her soul, her heart. She is just a glowing soul, and is going to touch so many people's lives through this work. I love working with her. She always brings the best out in me too. When we get together and we talk. So I appreciate, Carolyn, the comment there. Thank you for your kind words. And I love having you and thank you for that. Ryan, thanks for joining us too. On that note, again, thank you. I'm so grateful for all of you. It's been a wonderful 3 days. I will come on tomorrow for a bonus day. So get on tomorrow at some point. I'll find the time to do that. And, we'll be talking about a few things that, it's Valentine's Day. We'll talk a little bit about love. Love you all. God bless you all. My name is Dr. Garret Kusch, and I want to hear from you all. So have a wonderful day. Take care, guys.